Hi, it's Katie, and I have November's project roundup. These are all the craft and DIY projects I completed in November, and I have a few things here on the table, and then I have a few things that I have gifted away, but I actually remembered to take a photograph, so I can show you those. But the first thing I have today are these mittens, and I have a tutorial on how to make these. I actually just published for this one. I have another version where they're using two colors, so it makes striped mittens. I got a comment on that video asking how they could make it without using two colors, so rather than explaining everything through comments, which can be difficult, I just made a new tutorial. So these are done in the spiral, so there's no seams, and these are just thumbless mittens. I made these in the larger size, so these are for 6 to 12 month old. Oh, you know, all that size is pretty relative, but I have those. These are going to end up getting donated to the baby box at my church, since I have no use for them at this time. The next thing I made is this hat for my little one. She needed a winter hat, so this is just a really basic Earflap hat. It's made in the spiral as well. I always do everything in spiral if I can help it. So there's no seam to this, and this is done in double crochet, and it has the little braids on the side. I filmed this tutorial, and I'm still working on editing it. It takes me a long time to edit crochet tutorials, so hopefully I will have that up soon. I really want to have it up before Christmas because it's a really quick gift if you need a gift for somebody to make. I can whip one of these up in just a few hours, so if you're proficient at crocheting, you could probably do the same thing. So I have that. I also made some mittens that match this, but they're not quite done, so I'll show those in next month's. I try to show only actually completed projects in these project roundups. Gives me motivation to finish my projects. But there's going to be some mittens in the same color yarn to match these. Coming next month, I'll show you those. And then I also made a hat and mittens for another little girl, and I'll insert a photo. This is done in a dark purple yarn, and then all I did was I crocheted a little flower motif and attached that to the hat, and it fit her perfectly, even though I had only met this little girl when she was much smaller. So I was happy to know that it fit her pretty well. And that pattern, again, it's just the same spiral hat that I've done for this hat, and also the turtle hat I showed in last month's project roundup. I just made it without adding the ear flaps. I just kind of flared out the last few rows, so it kind of makes a cloche sort of hat. What I have here, this is a busy bag, which is just a little something to keep your little ones occupied or to help them with fine motor skills or something. But this is called a button snake, and I can link the tutorial I got this idea from. You don't really need a tutorial to know how to make this, but I want to give credit where it's due, where I got the idea. And basically it's just this yellow ribbon, and there's a lot of tutorials for button snakes. They use a wider ribbon and you sew the button on, but I love this tutorial because you just use a really narrow ribbon and you just lace it through the holes of a large button and just tie it off. And then you have your long ribbon, and then on the other end of your ribbon you just tie a scrap of felt. And then you have all of these different colored squares of felt. You could also cut these into shapes. I saw somewhere you could do like different fall leaves for fall time and different Christmas designs for Christmas time. But I just did these different colored felt, and all I did was cut the square, and then I fold it in half and just cut a slit. Just clipped it a little bit to make that slit, and then the little one just pushes the button through the buttonhole, which, you know, buttoning a buttonhole is second nature to us as adults, but it's actually a skill that kind of needs to be learned and practiced. So my little one actually loves this, surprisingly. You know, sometimes you think the simplest things, they have all these high-tech gadgets and toys, but sometimes the simplest things are really fun for them. So I made a couple of these and I gave to some of my friends who have little ones as well, and so far they've all been well received. So yeah, I have the hat, the mittens, and then the other hat and mittens, and then this project here. It's halfway through December. It's actually just before Christmas. I'm a little late on this video, and I'm still working on the Christmas present, so it'll have to wait till next month's video. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. Please give my video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Leave me some comments down below letting me know what you're working on. I love hearing about your projects, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.